job to do. So all in here is finished now. All skirting board's been done. Obviously these rebates were left. Same with the windows and this window here. So I'm all finished in here. But while I was doing this, obviously I had other stuff to do. I'm in this small toilet. Again, had a leak around this window. It come through, damaged the sill. So I repaired all that. Had to just paint the surround, back wall, bits and pieces. Obviously, all this dado is satin wood, oil satin wood. So all this was done. There was no damage on the ceiling or anything like that. It was mainly around that window. But because I had to do that, then it made this look a bit tired. So I did all this lot as well. So looking good there. And then on to the next. Up above and on this window is where the water was coming through. Behind the plaster, running all the way through, down below. So I had a repair to do here and on this sill. That's not too bad. This is the final job of a stain block to go on this area here and then emulsion the ceiling. Water's come through, coving, and there's patches there just on the end. So I'll get the stain block on. I've already started sheeting up this side. Do that first and I'll carry on sheeting also everywhere else. All my sheets are down here. A closer look at this ceiling and coving. You can see where the water stain has come round in this corner. And generally the ceiling isn't too bad. As in, you know, the stain's there, but it's sound. Whereas this, some of it is quite flaky. So I need to go round first of all and just give it a very light sand. And I'm ready for my stain block. It's quite powdery, this is. Just take any loose back. If need be, just take that off. It's all virtually all coming off. I'll keep taking this off till it goes tight. And then I'll give it a light sand. Starting to come tight now. It says. I'll just keep going at this and see how much I can take off. I've sanded this down now. It's all nice and smooth. Took it all back to where it was tight. So now I can break out the bin primer. There's no need to PVA this because the first coat of bin primer I put on here, just this section, will be quite thin, and the rest of it I'll just coat up neat. When this is dried, give this a second coat. So carefully, so I'm not splashing anything. Get this sealed up. I'm going to slightly scrub it as I'm putting it on, but then just feather it off and lay it off. Not really thin this off too much, but when you do open a new tin, it's quite thin, this stuff, and then if you're using it over a period of time, you're not using it all up at once, then it can just thicken up a little bit. So really I've only took it back to what it would be like when you open a fresh tin. Maybe a little bit thinner, but this will bind with the surface now. And it looks like I'm going to have to find a colour. Ask my customer if they've any of this colour, this pink. I've not painted this. I'm only here doing this stain. I think my customer did this. I'll see if I can get something to touch that up. Otherwise, I think what I might do is when I do the ceiling, when I paint the ceiling, I might just bring this in white. We'll see the rest of it is white anyway. In fact, you know, just in case, because there could be a stain underneath that lip there, so I'll just run this in. Put too much on my brush, I can end up going all over the place, so just take my time with this. I'm going to have to touch this up anyway with pink. I'll find the edge, we'll get this cut in. Okay, so it's looking like I'm going to have to touch up anyway, but no big deal. I might be able to straighten it up with the emulsion a bit easier. We'll see anyway. So I'll carry on and do the rest of this. Thicken this up first. Now I can just continue with some neat stuff. Be careful not to splash. Take your time, it's not a race. Just slightly going over the edge of the stain. So I don't miss anything. Work the individual areas. I can see that this one fades off, so just tap that along here. Pretty straightforward now. Just tap this coving along. And by the time I've done this, that should be ready for a second coat. And providing that this leak has been solved, then there should be no problem here. If the leak is still there, then if you put this stain block on top of that leak, what will eventually will happen is it will crack and blow off again, because this stain block seals in everything, moisture and all sorts. So yeah, it's no room to go, the moisture, so it will just blow off. That's as far as I need to go up to here. I've no need to do the underneath edge here because the paper is onto the edge of the coving. So yeah, I'll always spoil it if I try doing anything there. Again, I didn't pay for this. I'm just here doing this. So I'll leave that to dry and I'll carry on shooting up on the other side of the room. That's drying off. I've gone round and done the rest of my sheeting up. Covered everything where I can. This shade around the light here, a bit awkward to be messing around with, so split the bottom of the refuse sack and just drew it up over all of this. Taped it at the top. So that's protecting that, that's not a problem there. Got all my gear out, got my roll and my scuttle. 3-inch brush. Essential you have some warm water. So there's only about 3 inches, 4 inches in that. That's all you need. Don't overfill it. Got my roller pole and my steps, obviously. Also, on the side of my tin of paint there, see, I'll just put some tape. All that will help is, I'm only putting one coat on this ceiling, and I know I'm going to be opening this again, and I'll probably just keep it for touching up. So every time I open this lid, I want to put it back in the same place exactly, because it just makes it easier opening and closing every time, because these deform. So I'll have a brew now while that's drying. I'll get that coated up. Before I start the ceiling, what I'm going to do is, it's already started putting a coat on this thin primer, just to help it cover properly. If I do this first, this will be drying. It may take a little bit longer to dry where this stain block is. This could be drying as I start cutting in elsewhere. Now I won't have any problem with the second coat. I've cut in the ceiling all the way round. That's been drying while I've been cutting in. So now I can start rolling from this side, bring my ceiling over, and I'll see if I need to touch up any of this coving or a little bit of ceiling that I've done. Well, that's fit to roll now. That's looking okay. It's been in a little bit, but I'll leave it to dry and then touch that up. We're good there. That's all the stuff wiped back. Before I put my lid on, just give that a little wipe round. Just help when I take that lid off again next time. I'll just line that up. Right.